So first of all, the first slide I know that he's going to pull up is basically, just so, and most of you, some of this might be a little redundant, some of this you might already know, but just to make sure we cover everything, we do have two flavors of the whey protein. We have the chocolate and we have vanilla whey protein powder that people can, mix. One scoop is a serving, and then we have the strawberry lemonade and the orange mango of the essential amino acids. And so we're going to talk a little bit about each of those and who they're suitable for. So we do still have the bundle options available. And so these bundle options would be for somebody who's doing their own plan. Like, maybe it could be somebody maybe that I run into at the gym. They're already doing their own plan, but they're looking to retain or build muscle. It could be somebody who maybe is using something now, um, but they want a cleaner, better product. I think about my son, he uses the whey protein and he uses amino acids. So a lot of people do use amino acids and whey protein, but there's a lot of products out there on the market that are not certified. They have things in them that make them cheap. There's a reason why they're cheap. They're not very good quality. Some of them are spiked with nitrogen. So so people want to be careful about what they choose. And sometimes some people are just desiring more energy and all the benefits that the EAAs have to offer. So, and really, anybody who's exercising or working out could be using these. So the two bundles, they could either do basically if you get two or more products of the EAAs, you're going to get a little bit of a discount. So two of the essential amino acids, they just pay. So, because how if somebody's not a Premier Club member, they pay full shipping. Well, they have this bundle package to where they're only paying a $7 flat rate shipping price, and you can see the price there. I mean, it's 126.85, and then you add the books. And because even this is something too where sometimes that's why our program's for anybody, right? Because maybe somebody doesn't want to do the fuelings. This could be for people who don't like packaged food, and that's the reason the pushback you're getting that they don't want to start our program. Well, heck, start them on one of the active lines and throw in the habits of health, and you can coach them through the habits of health using those products. And they could get if they're getting the two bags of the essential aminos plus one container of the whey, they have a little bundle package. So anyway, either one of them give them a savings. You can see that. So then now the first time that somebody ever does order an active product, they could already be a client ordering. But the first time they do order the active, if they do two active products, they'll get $10 off. And it says that it's only good through January 31st, but they have extended that offer. It still shows up in your shopping cart if you did that today. But just note that, this is subject to change at any time. So anyway, so two active products or more will get them the $7 flat rate shipping. So even if somebody is on Premier Club and they've maybe already recently placed their order, but they decide they want to get some of these, if they order two of them, they'll get the free blender bottle. They'll get the $10 off. And if you're ordering two, and they
I
can do
think
that as a on demand.
I think Sherry too. The distinction here is that if they are a Premier member, they'll get $10 off each of the products up to $30.
Hmm.
But even if they're not a Premier and they just order two active products for the first time, they're going to get the $7 flat rate shipping. So in
Hmm.
my mind, it makes sense to become a Premier member because people that are utilizing these products are still going to utilize them month after month after month, especially if they're incorporating it with their fitness regimen. So
Right.
it's a
Good point.
great way to support them long term.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point. And in answer to Brenda's question, yeah. I mean, they could be one whey protein powder and one active because they're both active line. So it could be one of each. It doesn't have to be, two bags plus the whey protein. And I want because and obviously if they're doing one bag, if they had one bag, they do one scoop a day. that will last them for 30 days. So if somebody's exercising, like I've had some clients that are exercisers, so I try to order 2 bags on their first order because otherwise they won't have enough in that first month because they're going to be doing the one that they always do, whether they're exercising that day or not. And then on the days they exercise, they're going to be doing a second serving. So that's, so for exercisers, you usually want to always get 2 bags to start. So, okay. And so, and I know a lot of you do know this, like the older we get, the more, our muscle mass decreases. But, a lot of like our general public and clients don't realize that that changes in that people can already start losing muscle as young as the age of 30, and how we continue to lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. So, you want to become familiar with these talking points and slide. You can go to the next slide, Russ. You want to become familiar with these because part of our job and is educating our clients. And they don't know what they don't know, right? So one of my conversations yesterday was with somebody she was a lead, and she actually had put her order in, and actually she had done it minutes before I called her. I didn't realize she had done it already. And she was somebody who was 65. She used to be super active. She had some hip issues, and anyway, she had put some weight on, and now she's got some knee issues, and she can't exercise like she used to, but she's losing muscle mass, not being able to exercise, aging. She's, 65 now, and in the last 5 years hasn't really been able to go to the gym like she's done her entire life. So we had the conversation about the importance of the essential amino acids, and we did talk about that, but she had already placed her order. But so sometimes my point of that is to say that sometimes you have these conversations with clients, and you're educating them about that. They might not be ready to do it right then on the first order, but just let them know, because don't be afraid to talk about it, because at some point they may recognize the importance of it. And this one's a good one to have, because I don't really have all this memorized yet, but when talking to them about it, how it's 3 to 8% per decade after the age of 30, but between the ages of 40 and 80, our muscle mass can decline 30 to 50%. And that's a lot. And our muscle is what keeps us mobile as we age. So it's really, really important that we maintain our muscle mass. And after the age of 40, we're losing 8% of muscle every 10 years. So that definitely adds up if we're not doing anything about it. So and also the active line is they're formulated to work within our system, meaning they're counting within our meal plan. They count as the optional snack. And they're the way that they're designed. They're designed by the scientists, the nutritional experts, and it's something that's super easy for them to work in. And what's nice is that they can count this as part of their water intake. What they mix. Like it says to mix it with 16 ounces. I personally like to add a lot of ice because it tastes better when it's cold, and I like to dilute it more. So I'm usually drinking it with 21 ounces of water. And you want to drink it down within 15 minutes, ideally, because that's the way to get the most effectiveness out of it. They say to drink it, consume it once you mix it within 15 minutes, not sip it all day. But it's nice because it can count as part of their water intake. And for somebody who's not exercising, if they just get up, they have their fueling, and they can just drink, have this and drink it with their first meal or fueling of the day. And so essential amino acids preserve lean muscle mass. And it also helps to improve quality of your sleep. It activates muscle protein synthesis. It boosts athletic performance. It helps to support healthy muscle, reduces muscle soreness after exercise, and helps to support post-exercise muscle recovery. And I just encourage you guys, if you haven't tried it, to try it, because for me, it's a total testament. When I've been an exerciser, and I go to the gym and do weights and everything. And if I have not been for a while, I'm always super sore for a few weeks, or sometimes you work new muscle groups. But this really helps with not being sore, because it definitely helps with the soreness and muscle repair. Because since I started using these amino acids, can only remember being sore like one time. And I remember that first month I used them. I hadn't exercised or worked out in over 6 months back in August when I started back at the gym. So, it's definitely good for that. And one thing that I like to point out to people, even if they're not exercisers, I point out how, even though the way the 5-in-1 plan is designed, um, it's designed to put you in that mild fat burn state while preserving your lean muscle mass. But, but this helps to ensure, to help ensure that you're retaining your muscle, and it helps to protect your muscle mass while you're in the fat burning state. And then especially when you got people going off and on plan, right? Because if they're going off and on plan, they are definitely in risk of jeopardizing their lean muscle mass. And so there's, a lot of, with the essential amino acids, I mean, our body needs those for optimal muscle protein synthesis. And that's muscle growth, well, while following a reduced calorie meal plan. And our body doesn't just make them on their own. We need to consume them. And so the nice thing about our EAAs is that, they do not have any artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. I'm kind of talking now some talking points that you didn't have a slide for us, but they don't have any artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, and they are calorie and carbohydrate controlled. So, then they know, like, because if they're using some other branch chains amino acids with our plan, they might, they might bump themselves out of fat burn because the calorie or the carb count could be too high. So, and why are you spending your money even if they're a little cheaper if they're not going to be that effective? So, anyway, so there's 10 grams of essential amino acids that it has a high amount of leucine in every serving. Then it's 3.5 grams of leucine in every serving and 5.3 grams of branched chain amino acids in the BCAAs. Now, a lot of people, they don't need to know that technicality, but it is important for us to kind of just know how the quality of our product, because that's what makes it so good, and how it's clinically studied, and its clinically studied blend of essential amino acids includes a 4:1:1 ratio of the branched chain amino acids. So that's a much better quality than a lot of ones that are out there. So the other product then, of course, is our whey protein, and we have our chocolate vanilla flavors. And this one also activates muscle protein synthesis, helps support healthy muscle, and helps to build muscle mass and strength with resistance exercise. And that's really good. So this is really great for exercisers, and it helps also to support post-workout muscle recovery. So some of the things are a little bit similar, but this is like these can be taken together in conjunction together, the whey protein and the EAAs. Now, the whey protein is really not intended for somebody on the 5-in-1 or like the 4-in-2 plan. But once we'll talk a little bit more about how you utilize this when when we get a little more into the 3-in-3 plans. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that, but a little bit more of a deeper dive onto onto the product of the whey is that it's a really excellent source of high quality protein that supports lean muscle growth and post workout recovery. And it's intended to have within an hour, I believe it is within an hour after you work out, if you can use it working out, but you can have up to 2 or 3 servings of it a day. I know people on the 3-in-3 plan will maybe sometimes do that because they're trying to get more protein in. So it's a great way to get high quality protein in. Great for those, especially those people on the medical weight loss drugs that are, they don't have an appetite. They're looking to get protein in. There's, I believe it's 24 grams of protein. Funny, our slides don't say that, but I'm pretty sure it's 24 grams and it's
Grams.
100. What was that, Russ?
Yeah, it's 24 grams of protein. So,
Okay, yeah, it
for,
probably says on the bottle right there in front of us,
yep,
huh?
yep.
Yes, it does. And it's 140 calories. So, and if so somebody's trying to get calories in and they can mix it. That's if they mix it with water. If they want to mix it with the unsweetened almond milk, or for instance, then they're going to get 170 calories right there. So anyway, so it's just a really great source of protein. So I have heard of some people on the 3-in-3 plan using it as part of their protein intake sometimes if they need to, but it could be like a snack in between meals to boost your, help combat the hunger and boost your protein intake. It doesn't have any, again, not on the 5-in-1 because this would bump you out of fat burning, or the 4-in-2 even, but it does not contain any flavors, colors, or sweeteners from artificial sources. So it's also very clean label and informed sports certified. That's the certification it went through, that one and the EAAs. And the nice thing too about both these products, the EAAs and the whey protein, is they're soy free, they're kosher, they're kosher dairy, vegetarian friendly. So it's more for when they're in optimization, once they've hit their goal weight and started to increase their calories a little bit more. So, all of our the active products, just like our fuelings, they're backed by science. They're made with quality ingredients, free from artificial colors, sweeteners, and flavors. And so the Informed Sports Choice Certified label or certification it's a global standard in sports nutrition quality control that ensures it contains no banned substances, because otherwise you have no guarantee of that. So anybody that like especially like your trainers, like Rochelle was very familiar with that label, that certification. If you're somebody who does deal with gym owners and personal trainers, they're going to know what they're going to be familiar with Informed Sports Choice certified products. So with the Optavia Active program, exercise recommendations. Okay, so the active, so this is kind of this last slide just kind of gives a little bit about if somebody's just active, they're not necessarily heavy exercisers. They're active, that's grocery shopping, gardening, playing with the kids in the yard, basically being a grandma or a mom, right? So it's like you're running around all the time. You're probably getting a lot of steps in. That's somebody who's active. They don't have a very sedentary lifestyle. And so this would be, great for them and then if they're doing low workouts, like some of the active app workouts, some of those active app workouts are higher intensity, or if they're doing a light of the active app workout, our free app, or not free app, but the app we have that gives us exercise workouts. The light elliptical treadmill, or if they're getting under 10, between 7 and 10,000 steps a day, they have low activity. Maybe they're doing yoga or just jogging or a short hike. Okay, that's going to be considered low exercise. So these are things that, with the 5-in-1 plan you could do, and then they could have their second EAA after, and the medium workout as well. Again, maybe they're kind of getting a little bit into the biking, but it's just medium intensity for 45 to 60 minutes a day. Okay, the low was up to 45 minutes or less. So that's for 5-in-1. 45 to 60 minutes a day. Maybe they're doing more of the 4-in-2, and they're doing exercises like a fitness boot camp, getting more than 10,000 steps a day. That would be considered medium intensity workout, and that might be more appropriate for a 4-in-2 active plan. But if they're high intensity exercise for at least 60 minutes a day, that's vigorous strength training, the running, the long hikes, intense cardio, spin classes, that are doing it 60 minutes or more. That's when it's probably, it may or may not be very appropriate for a 4-in-2. Definitely not a 5-in-1 to do high intensity for 60 minutes or more. That would be counterproductive. That would not keep them in fat burn. They'd be exercising too much for what they're taking in. So if somebody had this high intensity workouts that they're doing, they would want to be more on a 3-in-3.